What the business, YouTube, episode 59. My name's Jay Florida, and today's career of discussion is a basketball player. So, what is a basketball player? A basketball player is an athlete who competes in the sport of basketball, aiming to score points by shooting a ball through a raised hoop, while preventing the opposing team from scoring, specializing in one of five main court positions: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, or center. Now, to give you a piece of history, basketball players have been around for over 130 years. The sport was invented in December 1891 by Dr. James Naismith in Springfield, Massachusetts. Naismith used a soccer ball and two peach baskets, creating a game that quickly grew into the modern athletic phenomenon that we know today. A few basic requirements to becoming a basketball player include physical conditioning, advancing through competitive levels either through youth teams or amateur leagues, and creating highlights of your best games for scouts. Now, becoming an established basketball player can take you anywhere from 8 to 12 years and cost you $125 to $400 per week if you decide to join a basketball camp, and $600 to $2,500 per amateur league season. As far as your range as an entry-level basketball player, you can expect to make $650,000 to $1,250,000 in major leagues, or $40,000 to $80,000 in minor leagues, with a few things affecting how much you take home being league tier, agent representation, team budget and demand, as well as player analytics. A day in life as a basketball player can be described as rigorous training, constant travel, media appearances, public scrutiny, and competitive roster spots. As far as opportunity, most basketball players start their careers in their youth, either in middle school or high school. And that's not to say that if you're a little bit older and you're watching this, you can't become a basketball player. It's just that the older that you become, the more that opportunity diminishes on you. For that reason, the basketball player scores yellow. A few examples to take note of in this field include LeBron James, the NBA's all-time leading scorer and four-time champion, starring on teams such as the Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, and Los Angeles Lakers. Next, we have Allen Iverson, a basketball player who redefined the shooting guard position with a stylistic crossover that is heavily emulated in today's players, and won 4 NBA scoring titles. And last but not least, we have Muggsy Bogues, the all-time leader in both career assists and career steals for the Charlotte Hornets, playing 14 years and is the shortest NBA player in history at a height of 5'3". Moving on to our fact moment segment of this episode, starting off with fact number 1. The furthest shot in NBA history was an 89-foot heave made by Baron Davis of the Charlotte Hornets on February 17, 2001 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Fact number 2. An NBA regular season consists of 82 games per team. And fact number 3, the NBA was forced to completely re-engineer and reinforce their stanchions with breakaway mechanisms after Shaq broke 2 backboards in his official NBA career, the most that any player has broken. And for our last segment, before we move on to the circle of influence, we have health risks and mitigation, starting off with musculoskeletal disorders as a result of jumping, high impact, and constant bodily stress. High stress and anxiety as a result of pressures to win games and public scrutiny. Possible sleep deprivation as a result of irregular schedules during seasons. And potential job insecurity as a result of competitive rosters and underperforming. As far as mitigation, you should take part in each one of these, starting with dynamic warm-ups, proper rest and recovery, constant training to improve skills, avoid reveling in social media, and working with team-approved dietitians and healthcare experts. Now that does it for our primary segment. I'm going to go ahead and give the floor to my co-host for the Circle of Influence. What the business, YouTube? Starting off the Circle of Influence, we have respect. Is this a career or position that brings me respect and dignity? Now, the basketball player is a physically enduring, high-skill level profession where you entertain internationally and represent the people's teams. For that reason, the basketball player scores green. Moving on, we have growth. Is this a career or position that presents me with the opportunity to grow from a $100,000 earning threshold? And for this segment, the basketball player scores green, with sources online citing that the basketball player has the potential to make as much as $500,000, going well into the millions in a single year. Next, we have gore. Is this a career or position that will have me dealing with an abundance of blood, violent action, grotesque imagery, or scenery? For this segment, the basketball player scores green, as in no, you will not be dealing with any of the mentioned before. And for our last ideological standpoint, we have moral conflict. Is this a career or position that will have me compromise any of my foreseeable morals? Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't kill. The basic set of guidelines. And for this segment, the basketball player also scores green. Now, moving on to the statistical side of things, we have gender demographics, where men make up 77% of the industry and women make up 23% of the industry. Next, we have ethnic demographics, where Caucasians account for 73% of the industry, African Americans account for 9% of the industry, and Hispanics account for 8% of the entire industry. And for our last standpoint, location demographics, since this is a career that will have you traveling internationally from state to state, instead we have top paying basketball companies, starting with the NBA, followed by the CBA and the EuroLeague, and finishing things out with the Japan B-League and Spanish Liga ACB. Now that does it for the circle of influence. I'm going to go ahead and give the floor back to Florida. I'm back. Just to summarize the basketball player, you can reach the highest of heights in this career. You have all the fame in the world, access to the best foods and best health care, and you can set up the foundation for generational wealth for yourself and your family. Or you can spend it all on jewelry and strip clubs. And while most basketball players do start their careers in their youth, it doesn't exactly put the older crowd out of the conversation, though it will be a while before you make it to that house on top of the hill. With that being said, it does look like we have a full episode today. The word of the day is capture. Self-help resources on the board. As always, I'll leave it down in the description. And to show your support, if you want to see more of this content and better, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on episode 60.